A Mid-Coast contractor who pleaded guilty to stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from customers will not serve any time behind bars. Malcolm Stewart owned the now defunct Castle Builders in Union. Stewart was sentenced in a Rockland courtroom today to 7 years in jail, with all 7 suspended. The prosecution had asked the judge to sentence Stewart to 30 months behind bars. He was ordered to repay $385,000 and will serve 3 years probation. Stewart entered an Alford plea, which means he pleaded guilty but maintains his innocence, acknowledging he could be found guilty if the case had gone to trial.